Hello, 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 my friends. Hey, this is Rosa. Hopefully, your favorite real estate broker. All right, my friends. Today we are doing some myth busting. That's right. You heard me. There is no time, there is no energy to be spending time on myths in real estate, right? On myths on money, because as we know, time flies and we need to live our best life, my friends. So, one of the things I'm going to tell you right from the start is please, as we go through some of these myths, put them out there. If you have questions, if you want to discuss them more, hey, Victor, hey, Blessed. Um, very nice for you to join us. Put them out there. Put your questions out there. Let's talk about what questions you have when it comes to real estate. I have tons of great material to go over with you. Sophia, Helene, and so forth. Thank you so much. And please, of course, I'm going to say it once, any likes, any shares, of course, they are always very, very much appreciated. But you know what? Let's get down to business, my friend. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I want to share this article with you. I think this is kind of like the meat and potatoes of what we're going to go over today. But I also have a lot of information to review with you. Now, right from the start, I want to kind of go over this article, and it is from a gentleman. Real estate and money myths that even the rich get wrong. And this is by G. Brian Davis. Now, do I agree with all of these myths? No, I don't, my friend. But some of them that I am going to put out to you are ones that I do pretty much agree with. And I think that you're going to want to take a little bit more seriously. All right. So, rental cash. Rental cash flow is the rent minus the mortgage payment. No, be careful, my friends. All right. Know that, hey, listen, when you buy a particular property, there is going to be a lot of extra costs, a lot of extra expenses, repairs, maintenance that come across that you are going to be responsible for. So, really be careful when we talk about, oh, yeah, I'm just going to take the rent and I'm going to minus out the mortgage payment. You might have repairs, maintenance, vacancy. Usually we say, okay, let's say about 5 to 10% of vacancy right from the start. And if you're not there to be able to deal with the property on a daily basis, right, then that means you need to pay a property manager, because I can tell you, my friends, that real estate will slowly deteriorate on its own if there's not a human being taking care of it. All right. Here's another myth that I thought that you would definitely relate to. Hey, Donna, user 863-661-668. I appreciate you being here. Timing the market. Oh my gosh. Do you know how many people I hear say, well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till the market goes down and then I'm going to start buying properties. Okay. Well, as this points out in this particular article, guess what? We don't know when that next dip is going to come. And when it does come, is it because interest rates are even higher, which might cost you more money? Right? So we are not Nostradamus. You see, I don't have my Nostradamus hat on today, right? But the smartest, most informed expert in the real estate industry, well, what do? They say, hey, listen, this is a market that's about me, that I'm going to go out and look for that property that makes the most sense for me. I'm not going to be that property. And Peggy, thank you so much for joining us. I'm not going to be that person to just kind of try to time the market. How about this one? It takes a lot of money to invest in real estate. Not true. Depending on your scenario, there is crowdfunding. There are REITs, REITs, real estate investment trusts, and you can even buy homes these days with no money down if it's going to be an owner occupied home. So maybe it's a home that you're like thinking, okay, I'm going to live in it for a couple of years. I'm going to then be able to fix it up. And within 2-3 years, I'm going to make my money back and I'm going to make even more, hopefully. and I'm going to sell it. So there's a lot of different ways in which you can make money, and that even the rich people might get some of this stuff wrong. How about this one? It takes a lot of work and skill to invest in real estate. Kim, thank you so much for joining us. User 902 Elvin, appreciate you. All right, so if you're buying properties directly, it could take some work and skill. But first of all, I can tell you right from the start, you have me, Rob Rosa, and I will be able to help you analyze the property before you invest in it. Why spend your time and money if you do not do your due diligence? That's right. You heard I said it. I think that's the two words, the phrase of the month, or the phrase of 2023, because all I hear is due diligence. You got to do your due diligence, right? You do need to do your due diligence. You need to vet the investment, review your business plan, put one together if you don't have one, and then sit down with someone like myself who can help you analyze the property and understand how you can make or how you might lose money. How about this one? Only millionaires invest in private equity real estate. Well, what are you talking about? Like, I hear some people say that only millionaires invest in private equity real estate. Well, what is private equity? Equity refers to investments owned by private companies, not publicly traded ones. Well, the whole point is that those are real estate syndications. That's a fancy group for real estate investment groups. And you might be able to join one of those groups if you wanted to. You might be able to start one of those groups. I mean, it really is as simple as, let's just make pretend it's you and two other people, and you find yourself a 2-family, a 5-family, a 20-family unit, and you're like, you know what, Rob, this is the property we want to buy. We're going to get together. Well, guess what? I have a CPA that we can refer to and help get us some help. I have a real estate attorney that we can refer to and get us some help, right? So I have a commercial insurance person who can get us some help. So I have the team ready for you. Really, what you need to do is get some people together that you feel that you can trust, right? That you feel will all help each other, add value to each other, have integrity, and have some money. And we can put together a private equity real estate syndication. It would not be hard for us to do, right? So just remember, it doesn't mean that only the very, very rich people do this. We can do this too. And John and Hose D and AF2, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. We're kind of going through the myths of real estate. And here's another myth for you. It takes decades to become a millionaire. Do you know? And we might not be used to this in the United States, right? But it does take decades if you only save 5 to 10% of your money, like the average person. But what if you saved more? What if you're willing to save and invest more of your money? What if you're one of these 20-something-year-olds that you have a whole lifetime ahead of you, Lord willing, or 30-something, or 40, or even 50, or 60, or 70? It's never too late, right, for you to start saving, because, it does sound hokey and, oh yeah, Rob, sure. But, a lot of cases, especially the average person here in the United States, it doesn't really matter exactly how much money you make. It matters a lot of what you are doing with your money. How are you spending your money, right? That is really, really, really a big part of it. How are you actually spending your money on a weekly or daily basis? All right. So I would really, really consider that stuff. Of course, I have a little chart for you here, right, that we can look at. And, basically it says, okay, and I'm not a financial analyst, even though I play one on TV. No, I really don't play one on TV, right? The whole point is, if after 10 years, right, at different monthly savings amounts, right, how much would you have? So let's just say we take the 8% number, right? So if you were saving $500 a month and you found a way, which is not the hardest thing in the world, to get 8% return on your money, right? After 10 years, you'd have $91,707. All right. After 10 years, if you want $1,000,000, well, guess what? You got to start saving a pretty good amount of money. You do have to start saving that $6,000 a month, which could be a little bit difficult for many people. But can you get $500 together, and within 10 years, you're going to have 10%? You're going to have $91,707. I think you can do it, right? Don't think that it's totally outrageous. You can make it happen for yourself if you want to. And just think about this one. There's 59.4, yep, over 59.4 million millionaires around the world. So you can do it if you want to, my friends. All right, come on, you got this. What do you want to do in life? Where do you want to go? What do you want to get accomplished? It's here for you. Here's the next one. Never think it's too late. I'm too old. I'm too young to invest in real estate. Well, we know that at every age, there's something for you to accomplish, and you can do it when it comes to real estate if that's what you want to. Myth: cash is safer than any investment. Well, I don't know about that. I believe that cash, of course, it has its use, right? Especially if it's for short term, you want to save that cash. But why not do some investing? Why not get into some real estate, or even some REITs, some real estate investment trusts? And think in the long run, you will be happy. And here's just a little example. Okay. So where we're going to go to next, and please ask me any questions that you might have, Buddy, Johnny, Betsy, Nin, Maggie. I see you're here, right? Please feel free to ask me whatever questions that might come up as we're talking about real estate. So now what I'm going to do next is I want to be able to share with you some of the November stats. Oh man, right? What's going on in real estate in Connecticut? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this, right? So remember, where we are right now is we're really, we're talking about the entire multiple listing service, the entire MLS here in Connecticut, right? And we're going to talk about what are the real numbers, because you see, I talk with people every single day and they think that they know because they hear something on the news, and maybe it's national news. Maybe it's what's happening in Florida. Maybe it's what's happening in California or wherever. But let's talk about Connecticut, okay? Since the wonderful world. Now, this is for all price ranges, all residential property types. So this is for single family homes, right? This is for townhouses. This is for condos. This is for mobile homes, manufactured homes, right? All bedrooms, all baths, all square footages, okay? All seller types, whether it's a traditional seller, a foreclosure, or a short sale. And so, I've heard people even yesterday saying, oh, well, the market's going down. Okay. I don't see it, because here we are. Okay. Let's look at the numbers. In September, for average sales price, we were at $494,826. October, the average sales price here in Connecticut multiple listing service, $500,001. And the wonderful world of November, $503,510. So sales prices are going up still, my friend. Interest rates are going up and down and here and there, and it's confusing everybody. And we don't, everybody's trying to wonder, is the market going up? Is it going down? And it's just showing you straightforwardly that the sales prices are still going up. All right. Now let's get to the next particular information that I wanted to share with you. Let's talk about new listings. So here we had that little spike between 2020 and 2021. And then from there, it just went down, 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 down. All right. Now, so let's talk. I mean, is it flattening out? Well, maybe it is. I mean, what did we have? We actually had 100 more new listings on the market between October and November. I mean, do we appreciate that? Yes, but is it going to really make that difference? I don't think so. So you see September, we had 39,619. October, 39,585. November, 39,684. So it does look like it's flattening out a little bit, but that's where we stand. Hey, Seth, Jorge, Luis, thank you so much for joining us. That's where we stand on new listings in Connecticut. It seems for the last 3 or 4 months, it's pretty much kind of flattening out right there. New listings. Homes for sale, right? We know this story, and somebody even told me this morning, well, I think there's more homes on the market now than there was last month. All right. So the answer in Connecticut is less. The entire multiple listing service is showing you September, we had 6,469 homes for sale on the market. All right. Remember, single family homes, townhouses, condos. Hey, Miguel. Hey, Deso. Hey, user 423. Thank you so much for joining us. Likes and shares are appreciated. But September, we had 6,469 homes. October, 6,326. And November, 6,202. Okay. Is closed sales down too? Yes. Why? Well, why are closed sales down? Because we just don't have enough homes on the market, right? Again, since that wonderful world of 2020, things got a little bit crazy for about a year or so. And from there, when we talk about like mid 2021, right, over here is a spike. In the last 3 years, June of 2021, we had 57,888 closings. And from there, it just went down, 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 my friends. Less closed sales. And it's not because there's more homes on the market, like we talked about. It's because probably less people are willing to move. Do interest rates play a part of that? Yes. Do people feel like they maybe don't want to move? Maybe. Is it the best decision? Maybe not, because how long is the market going to stay this high? Right? In fact, let me see if I can look up the last 5 years. Look at that. Let's say the last 10 years. Look at that. Okay. Let's say max. So max in the last 20 years. So if you in 2003, in January of 2003, now remember the market was a little bit high, but if you'd said, oh, I'm going to wait, well, you would have had to wait. Actually, the homes never went down to the price of 2003 again. January 2003, we haven't been down there. Now, if you were, let's just say around July of 2004, you said, I'm going to wait till the home prices go down because they are just way too high. Well, what did you have to do? You would have had to wait all the way until October of 2009, that's 5 years, for it to get even close to where it was in July of 2004. And you said, well, I'm going to wait until the houses go down, right? Well, look at where we are now compared to the last 20 years, right? You're talking about November 2023, $503,000 for an average sales price versus February 2003, 270,000, almost double. Okay. And so that's really where we are when we talk about that. Months of supply. Look at this. We haven't been this low, months of supply. So, we have a number right here that we're right about 2 months supply of homes for sale. Hey, Kim, thank you so much for joining us. Robert, Jeff, appreciate you. 2 months. Now, I've been told by those marketing experts, right? You might say, well, Rob, I thought you were the marketing expert. Okay. Well, I've been told after reading so much that to have a balanced market, we really are supposed to have about 8 to 9 months of supply. So this is like, okay, how long would it take for us to sell all the homes that we have on the market right now? 8 to 9 months would be a balanced market between buyers and salespeople. All right. So we are at actually 2 months supply. So that should kind of tell you a little bit of a story. All right. Now, how much are homes selling for? That's important. As a percentage of list price. I think that's interesting. That might be some interest. So right now, as you can see on my screen, we were crunching the numbers. Okay. So if you kind of looked 20 years ago, this is interesting. If we look back 20 years, right? I mean, I actually was doing real estate back then too. Wow. I don't know if that's good or bad. Put a comment, if you will, right? Put a comment on this post. Hey, is it good that I've been doing real estate for these last 20 years? Do you look at that as a good thing, or do you look at that as a bad thing? If you were ready to buy or sell a home. Hey, Gator. Oh, I like this other person's username, Don Corleone, right? Gator, right? Gator don't cry. User 3115. But if we let's get back to work, guys. Come on. We can't be fooling around this whole time, right? If we look back at our numbers, okay, average percent of last list price, right? Average percent of last list price, what the home sold at, right? So basically, you can see right now, over the past, again, since 2012, look at that percent of last list price. Homes basically hit the point right there, June 2021, that they were selling for, on average, because remember, you're talking about quite a few sales, you're talking about 100.1% of list price. And from there, it went to 102.1. That was probably a high back in December of 2022. Basically, the homes are selling for 2.4% on average, more than the asking price. And then here we just hit a new high, right? We hit the high in October, 102.6. And November, 102.7. So can you make a case for selling your house and taking that equity and maybe paying off all your bills? Maybe, believe it or not, getting a smaller house, more affordable home if you're behind on your bills. And of course, buying it subject to you finding suitable housing. So one of the things is, if you have a great real estate agent like myself, you're going to always notice that, hey, you know what? I don't have to be worried about finding the home and signing another agreement, because I'm going to buy it. I'm going to sell my home subject to me finding suitable housing. So that's one of the things that you can always feel comfortable about, that you don't have to be worried about. Well, you know what? I think this is interesting, because especially when I talk to people from other states like California and Texas, and especially metropolitan areas, we're crunching those numbers. And let's see, in the past 20 years, what are we averaging for, let's do average price per square foot here in the Connecticut Multiple Listing Service. So really quick, how much do you think homes are selling for, average price per square foot in Connecticut? Well, for the month of November, it was up $241 on average. So if your home maybe is in average condition, if your home is maybe in an average neighborhood, you probably will be talking about that $241 per square foot price. And this is the highest that it's been in 20 years. I don't know the numbers before then. I can't get the numbers before then. But for the past 20 years, you have not hit this price before. Last month it was $239 per square foot here in Connecticut on average for residential homes. For the month before, September, it was 236, 235 in August, 232, and you can see the way that it goes, the graph. So this is kind of interesting. Caroline, DS, Beauty Queen, Andy, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Appreciate any likes if you like the info. Appreciate you sharing. And always feel free to DM me if there's a question that I can answer. All right. Let's go to probably one more indice, right? And that is going to be average days on the market. Our homes staying, I hear people, I'm waiting because homes are staying longer on the market. All right, my friends, in the past 20 years, I think you know the story by now, it hasn't been lower, right? November 33, that's a beautiful number. That's a magic number. I love that number, right? And I'm not into numerology necessarily, but I just think that's a pretty good number. November 2023, 33 days on the market. Now, remember, I have some listings. They've been on the market for quite some time because maybe, we go back to the 4 P's of marketing. Does the product, meaning the home, match the price, match the promotion, match the placement? Is everything being done right? Okay, we see homes that are just not maybe marketed correctly. We see homes that are not priced correctly. So not every home sells really fast. But if all the homes were priced correctly, I can tell you that this number would probably be cut in half. But not every seller necessarily wants to be told how much their house is really worth. And, I don't know what you might be waiting for, because if you're considering things and you look at these numbers, Daisy Dog, Scorpio, Caroline, as we can see, now is the time to make that move. I think you pretty much know the story. And please, if you have comments, if you have questions, and you want to discuss some of this stuff, please feel free. Definitely let me know. All right. So we went over some money myths. We went over some data. All right. Let's do some real talking now. All right. Let's do some real talking. Let's one of the things I wanted to do is I really wanted to kind of talk a little bit about rapport. I wanted to talk a little bit about, well, what is it that we can do to help each other, right? What are some of the things that you need to consider when you're involved in a real estate transaction, right? What are some of the things that how should you be treated as a client? How should you be treated as a customer? Are you being listened to? So these are some of the things that we want to talk about, right? And what should be happening, whether you are a buyer or a seller, is first of all, are you being asked enough questions? Is someone there for you to let you talk about your dreams, right? Is someone there for you to listen to what your wants are, to assess what your needs are? Or are they just boom showing you houses? Or are they boom coming to your house, hey, here's a presentation and moving on, right? Because really what should be happening is that you should have that opportunity to say, hey, listen, here's what I want, and this is why I want it. So you need to make sure that the language of real estate, that person that you're entrusting the most expensive, usually the largest financial asset you have, usually, right, that it's being handled correctly. right? That they are sharing with you their services and not trying to necessarily convince you. You see, so that's one of the things when we talk about the language of real estate and what is it that we're trying to do and how are we doing it. Well, I can tell you that if you sit down with me, if we talk about things, it's not going to be a big persuasion. That's not what I'm looking to do, right? What I want to do, I'm not looking to convince you. You know, I had someone Saturday morning, we sat down, they wanted to buy investment property. And before you know it, they said, well, you know what? We should sell our house and then we're going to buy this investment property and we're going to do this, this, and this. And I said, is that, I looked at both the husband and the wife. They came into my office. I said, is that something that you really want to do? What's persuading you to make the decision? Because it's not me trying to talk you into this. And they talked a little bit how they didn't love their current home. They spoke a little bit on how they feel like they almost maybe made a mistake on the house that they bought a few years back. They spoke about how it will benefit them to be able to buy another home, right? We talked about the quality. We talked about the physical description of that particular home, right? Did I give them a little presentation and discuss exposure and creative marketing and how we would handle negotiations and how we would qualify the buyer and arrange the most suitable financing and talk about the net equity and how much money that they're going to have at the time of closing and the market conditions and how those things change so fast? Some people don't think the real estate market changes fast, but I can promise you it's changing faster more than ever. That's why I wanted to go over those numbers with you. And that's the real data. You see, that's not just talk. That's not just me kind of persuading you on things. You actually just saw the real hardcore data when it comes to real estate, right? And what's going on in the market. Okay. So we don't want to have to, I want to help you, and that's what we do, is to help make a decision. David, Noon, Dennis, thank you so much for joining us. Right? We're going to talk about, well, what in what ways is it really going to help you? What are those benefits? Right? Are you enthusiastic about it? What do you mean, Rob? I got to be enthusiastic? Yeah, you kind of do, my friends, because I don't want to work with miserable people. And let's just say, well, you say, well, Rob, I'm not working with you anyways. I have my own real estate agent. That's fine. But the point is, does anybody want to work for a miserable person? And is that person, that employee, and I know that it might not be employee, independent contractor, but is that real estate agent going to really, really want to work hard for just a person that's crotchety and miserable? I don't know. You see, I want someone who is going to be enthusiastic. They're excited about the future. They want to make something happen with the future. Maybe it's they inherited a home and they are sad, right? And we have to discuss probate. I have a couple of those going on right now, and they're sad about it. They lost a loved one. Hey, I understand that 1000%, and they might not be so enthusiastic, but they do have plans or are thinking in their mind, whether they want to admit it or not. They have plans for that money. They have some ideas of what they might do for that with that money. Maybe to honor the loved one that they lost. Maybe to help out a child and that sort of thing. So ultimately, I guess I probably would say, hey, I want you to know and that you deserve someone, a real estate professional, who's on your side, who's listening to you, who's answering your questions, who's discussing your objections, who's really, really focused on not necessarily what they're about and how much money they're going to make and how much you need to sell the property for, because those are easier questions than saying, hey, listen, tell me about what you really are looking to do. maybe you seem overwhelmed, maybe you seem confused. Let's break it down into pieces. Let's talk about it step by step by step. So that's, when we talk about kind of like the language of real estate, right? Those are the things we're talking about. We're talking about what are the foundational discussion items that you should have and you deserve to have. All right. Now, just to wrap it up for the day, one of the final things I want to mention, I put a little post out there earlier because I thought it was kind of interesting. And I can tell you, I haven't come up with an answer myself. I have definitely a few, but I started thinking because my guru coach asked me, what is the most successful thing that you feel you have completed? What is the most successful thing you feel you have done? And then I start thinking, well, what do you mean? Personal wise? Do you mean business wise? Am I supposed to say something about God or Jesus that I did? Am I supposed to say something about my wife? Am I supposed to say something about my child, my children, having my children? Is that the most successful thing that I've done? What am I supposed to say? And what is it really? So it's kind of hard to think about that. And so then I started to think, okay, well, here's all the successful things that I have done, that I feel that I have done. And it started making me feel better about myself. It started making me feel that I have accomplished some things. And I know that all of us have accomplished something. So even though you might think it's something small, or if you do think it's something small, or that it doesn't amount to anything, I could tell you you're wrong, right? Because you're wrong, because you do matter. And you are important to this world. You are important to this universe. And I'm sure that you have done many, many things that are successful. And you do have opportunities to do more. You have opportunities to bring people joy, even if it's a smile. You have opportunities to inspire people, even if you're telling them a story about one of the worst things that happened in your life. You have an opportunity, this one moment. And I know you do because you're on this phone, right? Or you're on the computer and you're watching me. And so this is your opportunity when we wrap this up in a minute or two to go out there and spread more joy and more love. And that, to me, is probably one of the most successful things that you can do, my friend. So God bless you. I hope that you're having a very, very amazing holiday season. I definitely wish you well, and hopefully I will see you soon. You're always more than welcome to call me with any questions nationwide, credit repair, real estate, mortgages, real estate coaching and mentoring. I'm available for you. All right. So this is Rob Rosa signing out. God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon.